If collaboration is a superpower of cloud technology, what are the others? And how are they transforming business? Consider this. In your day-to-day work, how often do you need to understand the hidden dynamics of complex environments, such as consumer markets, financial investments, or global logistics, and then predict or recommend a course of action based on this understanding? How often do you need to apply structure and create categories for raw data which seems chaotic at first, such as sales reports or image libraries? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you had superpowers to understand or perceive, categorize, recommend, and predict? If you could translate your data into visual representations to support your decisions, just as Google Maps turns streets red when there is a new traffic jam? Let's have a closer look at these superpowers. Imagine that you're a doctor trying to distinguish between a patient who is unusually warm and someone with an infection, so that you can treat an infection sooner and with better chances of recovery. If this is a rare disease, what are the chances that you've heard of it or seen it before? Computer-aided diagnosis to help doctors interpret medical images or test results has become a critical asset to doctors all over the world. Perceiving unusual elements in complex systems can be equally useful to a variety of corporate roles. Think about an HR manager who needs to identify the perfect profile for a new job offering among thousands of resumes, or a manufacturing director who wants to identify the bottlenecks in her supply chain. All these complex systems become even more complex over time. Viruses mutate, job markets evolve, and you must now track patterns in rapidly changing environments. Machine learning enables the mapping and understanding of these patterns and helps you perceive trends, correlations, or anomalies that would be impossible to track otherwise. Detecting differences between two categories of images seems quite straightforward, but it's not always as easy as it seems. This is a silly example, but imagine you're an insurance company and want to assess the damage after a car accident from the photos sent to you by your client. Can you easily identify among all the bumps and scratches on the car which were caused by the accident and which were already there? Going a step further, how can you categorize the overall damage situation without an expert in the room to decide between repairing or replacing the car? Turning unstructured data into categorized and useful data through machine learning is another superpower of the cloud that can change the way you do business. By processing historical choices and patterns, cloud technology can recommend the most interesting or useful next step in a recurring process. Receiving insightful recommendations has become a natural expectation for Spotify or Netflix subscribers. As a business professional, you can now expect insightful recommendations for your decision-making also. We have seen how recommendations apply to evaluating a house you want to buy. Using insightful recommendations works the same way for deciding which items to promote in a store during the holiday season in order to maximize sales, or choosing the most relevant promotional banner for your website. Recommendations can apply to an industrial environment for preventive maintenance or a finance back office for investment opportunities. Making recommendations is at the core of every role in any organization, and cloud technology can support business instincts or gut feelings. The last superpower is arguably the most impressive. Prediction has come within human reach through advancements in data science. It's probably the most transformative aspect of cloud technology. In healthcare, we can leverage machine learning models to predict which mutation of the flu virus will impact a population several months ahead, and help the pharmaceutical companies produce the most useful vaccine in time. At Google, we have been able to predict the energy consumption of our own data centers globally and reduce our electricity bill by 40% using this type of model. Because of this, we were able to power our data centers using 100% renewable energy beginning in 2017, and we're the first cloud provider to do so. The question you need to ask yourself now is, how will you leverage the superpowers of the cloud for your activity?